The commercial says we're number 2, but we try harder. Central's Chuck Fisher second in '83 and '89. Thornwood second 2 years ago. One will finish first tonight. The AA state title game next on the IHSA TV network. And welcome to Peoria, Illinois. It is the capital city of America's original March Madness. It's the moment we've all been waiting for. It is the final game of the high school basketball season. Welcome to Carver Arena in downtown Peoria. It's the home team, the Central Lions, the top-ranked team still alive. Number 2, the home crowd on their side, and they are taking on Thornwood, the Thunderbirds, second place a couple of years ago, trying to take home that elusive state championship. They are going head-to-head for the AA state title. Here for the call of the game, Dave Bernhardt and Mark Lindo. Gentlemen.
All right, Lee, thank you very much. And, you know, Tuesday evening when all those super sectional games were completed and the Elite 8 was set and everybody looked at the brackets, they saw Peoria Central in the top, they saw Thornwood in the bottom, and everybody said, you know, we would expect to see these two teams. Well, it hasn't been easy, but by golly, Mark, here we are.
I tell you what, it's showtime. We're going to have some fun tonight. Two outstanding basketball teams going at it. The winner takes home a state championship tonight. You have two teams that can get up and down the floor. You have two teams that are great in transition, both offensively and defensively. It's going to come down to execution. Thornwood survived with 2 last-second wins. Peoria Central finished at the free throw line. We'll see what happens tonight.
Let's take a look at the road to Peoria for each of these two ball clubs. First of all, for Thornwood, they really cruised through the Lincoln Way East sectional, winning those games by an average of 18 points per game. Then a tough game against St. Lawrence in a super sectional at East Aurora. And then down here, how about a couple of thrillers? Defeating Downers Grove South 46-44 on a shot by Maurice Montgomery with just a shade over 1 second left. And then earlier today, it took an Eric Gray three-pointer with 7 seconds left to defeat Glenbrook North 40-39. For Peoria Central, they absolutely hammered number 6 and number 7 Limestone and Lincoln by a combined 59 points. And then here at Carver Arena, it was a 20-point win over Von Steuben, but that ball game was close until the final 3 minutes. And then earlier today, the Lions actually trailed Evanston in the third quarter before winning that ball game by 10. So it's been a very interesting road to get here. Well, you need some good players to get here as well, and I mentioned one just moments ago for Thornwood. That's Eric Gray.
Absolutely. Eric Gray is a do-all guard. There's no doubt about that. He's a prime timer going to Indiana State. You know, he had a subpar game today, but yet he hit the game winner. 75 three-point shots on the year. That tells you he can do. He can take the ball on the open floor and create, and he can also carry a team at a given time. And then, of course, for Peoria Central, how about the home-time guy, Daniel Ruffin? What a game he had today. 23 points, 8 steals. He's got 10 assists in 2 ball games. Staying home for Bradley. He is the catalyst, the quarterback of this basketball team for Peoria Central.
You know, if we take a look at the keys to the ball game for Thornwood, I've got to believe they start with Daniel Ruffin.
Well, Daniel Ruffin's a guy that makes it go. Tough on rough is what Thornwood's got to do. They have to negate Ruffin's ability in the paint, in the open floor, his ability to create. They got to fight fatigue, this Thornwood. Start with championship adrenaline. That will be taking place. When will fatigue set in? Can they fight through that? And will Bob Curran be able to rotate his players? And finally, cover the court. Peoria plays best in a 94-foot game offensively, defensively. They got to get back on defense. For Peoria Central, passion and poise is the answer. Balance of hype and poise at the same time. Create an early tempo. They want runouts for Ruffin and Lee in the open floor to wear down Thornwood and finally keep them off. Thornwood lives on the offensive glass. Peoria Central's got to block out, get the job done that way, and they have a good shot at this ball game.
All right, let's get it going. We've got the boys AA state championship game coming up next on the IHSA television network. Carver Arena is the home of the boys AA basketball championships, and now let's go to the public address announcer here, Paul Herzog.
Good evening, basketball fans. On behalf of the Illinois High School Association and the city of Peoria, welcome to America's original March Madness. Tonight's Class AA championship game in Carver Arena features the Thunderbirds of South Holland Thornwood 27-5 and the Peoria Central Lions 30-1. Before we introduce our guest soloist, we ask you to remember and honor the men and women of the United States Armed Forces serving throughout the world with this moment of silence. Thank you, and thank them. And now to lead us to the Star Spangled Banner from Elgin High School, a senior, Mike Ledbetter.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the
Let's meet the starting lineups for this championship game. At a guard for Thornwood, a 5'9" senior, 23, Geremie Allison. At a guard for Peoria Central, a 5'10" senior, 11, Daniel Ruffin. At a guard for the Thunderbirds, a 6'1" senior, 24, Emerick Gray. At a guard for the Lions, a 6'6" junior, 14, Shaun Livingston. A third guard for Thornwood, a 6'3" senior, 32, Maurice Montgomery. A third guard for Peoria Central, a 6-foot junior, 22, Brandon Lee. And a forward for the Thunderbirds, a 6'3" junior, 33, Andre Muse. And a forward for the Lions, a 6'1" senior, 32, Jon Ruffin. And a forward for Thornwood, a 6'3" junior, 40, Martell Nelson. At a center for Peoria High School, a 6'6" sophomore, 34, DeAndre Miranda. Head coach of Thornwood in his first season, a record of 27-5, Bob Curran. Head coach for Peoria High School in his 25th year, 24 at Central, a record of 498 and 184, Chuck Fisher. No other state in America can claim the rich history and tradition that's been generated.
The starting lineup tonight featured some outstanding guards in the state of Illinois. For Peoria Central, Ruffin, Livingston, and Lee, they are outstanding. Jon Ruffin and DeAndre Miranda round out the lineup. Of course, Geremie Allison and Emerick Gray for Thornwood, but they've gotten strong inside work for Maurice Montgomery, Andre Muse, and Martell Nelson. Presenting the game ball here in our championship game, Don Western, the Vice President of Track Type Tractors at Caterpillar. And again, everyone thanks all of these fine people and companies here in Peoria for their support of the IHSA Boys Basketball Championships. Your officials in this championship game tonight, Greg Burton, Terry Murphy, and Ken Schell. Mark Lindo, we've been here, of course, all weekend. There's the extra electricity here tonight, obviously, because it's championship night. But you can feel that this is certainly a hometown crowd.
There's no doubt, and I think we might have a sellout here tonight because obviously Peoria Central, the hometown favorite. They're here from everywhere within 20 miles, and they're the odds-on favorite. But I think Thornwood will have something to say about that before all is said and done. They're going to have to grab great guard play from Geremie Allison and Eric Gray to keep this thing under control.
28 wins in a row for Central. Thornwood played in the championship game 2 years ago. The Lions to start it. This is Brandon Lee. Shaun Livingston with his first touch. Miranda cannot finish off the pass from Livingston.
Both teams starting a man. Nice penetration by Livingston, and then Miranda couldn't finish.
Eric Gray. A shot to put them in the championship ball game. He wears number 24. This is Andre Muse. Martell Nelson had a huge game in the semis. Martell Nelson goes to the rack.
Martell Nelson, 13 points and 7 boards this afternoon. He's a second chance opportunity extraordinary kind of guy. That time he had a clear out and drew the foul and the one-on-one opportunity here.
Nelson, who averages only 4.7 points per ball game, had 13 in the semifinals today. Shaun Livingston, just a junior. Jon Ruffin. Brandon Lee in the paint. Scrapping is Jon Ruffin to Daniel Ruffin. Livingston from outside. 2 balls have gone in and out for Peoria.
Livingston only 4 field goals in the tournament. Cannot get it going at all from the outside.
Maurice Montgomery with it. He had the game winner in the quarterfinals. They do not want to give Gray a good look. Peoria does not, that is. Obviously, Bob Kern and Thornwood would love to have him parked behind the arc all night.
Peoria Central putting a lot of pressure on the 2 guards of Thornwood and playing a lot of other people soft in the paint for protection.
Nelson cannot control it.
The other thing that does when you play 2 people on the guards, that negates the guards, and it gives you more rebounding position inside.
Very familiar trip for the T-Birds from South Holland. They've made it 3 straight years here, twice the championship game. For Peoria, they just pretty much had to roll out of bed, come on down the hill to the Civic Center. Tough shot from Lee.
Interesting matchup there. That's part of a game plan as Lee goes into the post. He posts up Eric Gray. You'll see it right here. Backs in, spins to his left, forces a contact as Gray cannot stay vertical. Gets his chance for a 3-point play and puts a foul on Gray, which is just as big at this early stage of the basketball game.
The early lead to Peoria. Montgomery cut off by Livingston. That goes off of Livingston, and once again we see the deflections. We've talked about it this entire tournament, Mark. Not always resulting in turnovers, but just getting a hand on the ball.
That just shows how active they are defensively. They see the ball so well. They push people's offense very far out and get the team out of their comfort zone on a consistent basis.
Turnovers have been a story for Peoria all season long. Here in the tournament, they have scored 42 points off of turnovers. That is 1/3 of the total points they have scored in their first 2 games. Daniel Ruffin misread Lee inside. Well, we mentioned South Holland and Peoria, the homes of these 2 clubs for Thornwood. That's a Cook County residence, 22,000 in South Holland, second East Conference. And it's the Mid-State 6 for the Lions right here in Peoria. Population of 113,000 and an enrollment of under 1,000. Geremie Allison has been quiet this tournament.
Peoria Central switching on all screens right now.
Brandon Lee with his first personal.
Brandon Lee had the big game in the quarterfinals. slow start today in the morning session, but his team's playing tonight, and a three-point play to lead things off tonight. They need him to come up large as that third scorer in their offense.
We talked about turnovers. 42 points off of turnovers for Central. In the 2 games down here, Thornwood has only turned the ball over 16 times.
That's amazing. Only 5 in this morning's win.
Nelson 20 feet from the basket. Montgomery. Livingston to push. Ahead to Jon Ruffin.
Livingston, great court vision. That's the way the Lions love to run the basketball. Livingston sees his man streaking down the floor, and the finish.
Trouble. Turnover. Timeout on the floor.
Definitely, I think I got to get stronger. That comes off the court. On the court, I think my defense could get even better. Foot speed, definitely my outside shooting ability, but I'm coming along. I'm making a lot of progress on my game right now, and hopefully next year those will be the key things I can work on.
Shaun Livingston was down here as a freshman with Peoria Ridgewoods, and you know he still has some improving to do because he is such a young man.
Well, he certainly is, but he's got all the tools. 6'6", 170. He's got to put some more weight on. He's got to get in the weight room, improve his strength. I think his outside shot's going to have to develop, but he has all the gifts. He's smooth. He's silky smooth. He runs the floor. Great vision. He makes everybody around him better. That's a sign of a great player.
Take a look at those team comparisons. Peoria outscores Thornwood by about 14 a ball game. Both these teams play excellent defense, averaging through 30-plus games, under 50 points per ball game. One difference Chuck Fisher would be concerned about, your far right-hand column. The way Thornwood can get up on the backboards.
That's one of the keys of the game that we had. If Thornwood plays volleyball, they can play with anybody, but Peoria is so good fundamentally at blocking out.
Tyson Langhorn into the ball game. He touches at the top of the key, and now Livingston. He rises. It's pretty much been one shot and done here in the first 4 minutes for Peoria. Gray hounded by Langhorn. He's the defensive specialist. Gray cannot find the range. Here comes Langhorn. He has Ruffin ahead. Back to Jon Ruffin.
Great fast break because you had the long pass and the touchback pass. 3 people touched the ball to get that basket.
Give the assist to Daniel Ruffin. He had 6 assists in the quarterfinals. The early lead of 5 is cut as Geremie Allison knocks down the 3.
Allison came right off a cross screen at the top. His defender trailed underneath. 1-2 step squared up, and he buried it right in stride.
Allison with just 5 points in the first 2 games down here in Peoria. Little clear out for Daniel Ruffin. Ruffin with 23 in the semis.
One-on-one, and Geremie Allison could not contend with Daniel Ruffin that particular matchup, but they'll go at each other for the next, 27 minutes.
Andre Muse has not touched the ball much here in this early part of this game. He has it now on Livingston. 9-5 is the Peoria Central lead over Thornwood.
Thornwood, not a lot of movement away from the basketball. A lot of screens and clearouts.
Long one, Allison. They will get Montgomery over the back.
Montgomery 6'3", 175, an outstanding leaper, but once again, Peoria Central just doing an outstanding job, fundamentally sound on the backboards, blocking out.
Jon Ruffin along with DeAndre Miranda to check out. Brandon Lee is back in. Also coming in, making his first appearance tonight, is Jacob Mottler. Other than basketball, Peoria put some trophies in their trophy case. Boy, track and field back in 1893. The block by Nelson. Montgomery got caught in the air, finds Gray. Gray finds the hoop.
Good job by Gray, slicing in, avoiding a would-be charge by just sliding to his right and avoiding contact.
The Lions up by 2. We're under 2 minutes to play in the first quarter.
Pretty clean basketball game thus far.
Mottler, he's hit some big ones. Now the T-Birds a chance to tie on this trip. Allison uses the dribble.
Good job by Mottler staying in front of the basketball.
Montgomery sensed a mismatch. Muse knocks this game at 9. 4 different Thunderbirds have scored.
Thornwood will play 8 or 9 deep.
Little pump fake. Ruffin can't get it. Gray covers a lot of ground. And the roll for Nelson.
What great penetration by Gray. Nelson reaps the benefits. Just an outstanding slash into the lane. Jump stop. Let the defense come to him, and then the dish.
We have seen Peoria hold here in situations just like this. And that's what they will do in the final 30 seconds.
The only decision Chuck Fisher has is which matchup does he want to try to exploit. It's going to be Ruffin or it's going to be Livingston. He gets to play one-on-one here with about 8 to 10 seconds to go. They'll attack.
6 straight points have been scored by Thornwood.
So it's going to be Ruffin against Allison.
Geremie Allison takes a deep breath. Here we go. Turnover. Not enough time. But Thornwood has made a statement, scoring the last 6 points of the first quarter. They lead after 1. 11-9. We'll be back to Carver Arena after these words from your local stations.
All right, an exciting finish of the first quarter for Thornwood. That's nothing unusual here in Peoria this weekend. This is Grace Curran, and this is Ann Curran, Bob's wife, and baby makes 4. These exciting finishes are making me nervous because I keep worrying about you. When do you do?
Any day now. Yeah.
Oh, no.
Yeah, in a couple weeks.
Have you been okay with the 2 last-second baskets?
Oh, they've been nail-biters. They really have. We're so excited to be down here, though, this weekend, and we wouldn't miss it for the world.
Can you say go T-Birds?
Did you say go T-Birds, Grace?
Grace is going to be a big sister before too long, but hopefully not tonight.
That's right. We need to make it one more day. Tomorrow night would be a good night.
Okay. Way to go. Good luck to you. All right.
Thank
Do we
you.
know what we're having?
We don't know. It's a surprise.
Okay.
It's a little T-Bird. We know
a little T-Bird. Well, good luck. All right. One more night. Hang on. Don't get excited. All right. Back to you.
All right. We'll try to keep this one out of overtime tonight, Lee. Maurice Montgomery bottoms out at 3.
Good ball movement, ball reverse. Montgomery had a chance to square his shoulder, spot up and nail it.
Answering the other way is Peyton Wadley off the bench.
Peyton Wadley not known for his 3-point prowess, but got a good look as well.
Lonte Ward into the game. He checked in at the quarter break. He has it against Jacob Mottler. Good position by Livingston inside. He needs help. Oh, they'll get Livingston with the foul.
You know what? Livingston was smart enough to know that if he picked up the ball, he was going to get listed for a double dribble. He tried to protect the ball with his body, and then they caught him with a hooking foul instead of the double dribble. Very interesting.
96 years of basketball at Peoria High School. Chuck Fisher's been around for 24 of them. He is closing in on that 500 mark at Central. He has already passed it in his 25-year coaching career. There's Salin Herky, 25 years. That's some pretty good winning percentages here for a high school over nearly a century of basketball.
Yeah, how about 1,500 wins overall? Who kept record of things back then? That's in the Stone Age, for crying out loud.
Darnell Westbrook is into the ball game for Thornwood. Ward, the penetration as we see both coaches go to the bench here early in the second quarter. Remember, both of these teams played earlier today.
Well, you know, we talked about the fatigue factor in the open. I'll tell you what, the biggest thing that does is the legs go, and then the shot goes, and shooting percentages go down, and then it's a war of attrition at the end.
Chance to tie here for the Lions. Wadley can't buy it from that corner. Muse exposed the ball. He got away with it.
Gray's going to try to create off this matchup. He wants a ball screen.
Ward will track it down.
Great help by DeAndre Miranda. Smart play, especially for a sophomore.
Thornwood does not score a lot of points. We showed you earlier. They only average about 55 per game. Central Peoria really makes it tough in the half-court set.
Thornwood's season high was at 76. They had in their super section win over St. Lawrence.
Tough shot from Gray. Muse or Gray, which one? Andre Gray not too happy with his missed shot, and he picks up the foul. That's his second.
And both of those have been ill-advised fouls. Not aggressive fouls, but reach-ins.
Gray will have a seat at the 5:49 mark. He'll be replaced by Lorenzo Williams.
Peoria Central 12 points on the board. They really need some help from their two stars right now. The two All-Staters, Ruffin and Livingston, really got to get going.
Only one field goal between them. Daniel Ruffin has it. Still, the Lions trail by just 2. John Ruffin back in. He has it at the top on Ward. Livingston looks over the defense. Penetrates. Grabbed out front by Muse.
Noticed all weekend the scouting report on Livingston is to stay on his right hand, make him put it down with his left. He's not real clean in the open floor with his left hand, but he's good with his crossover.
Good success over at Thornwood.
Getting the ball deep and getting into the defense.
We're tied at 14.
Full court pressure, another deflection. All that does is start to wear on your body and on your mind if you're Thornwood.
Lorenzo Williams. Muse will break the half-court stripe, but there's your turnover on the other end.
And they're off a deflection. And Miranda picked up the empty.
Livingston looking it over. The only junior on the first-team All-State team will give it up in the lane. Ahead to Westbrook. Ward stepping on the sideline right in front of the Central bench. We have a timeout on the floor, tied at 14. You're watching the Boys AA Tournament on the IHSA television network.
Probably my sophomore year, it was probably, I was just happy to be with the team, just to go down there. And I knew I probably wasn't going to play as much, but it was just the atmosphere. And my second year, my junior year, well, I felt comfortable. I guess I felt comfortable being down that second year. But this year I feel real comfortable. Feel like I just been here like I just been here before, and just ain't natural to me. And I think the third year is a lucky charm. So hopefully I can come out with some success.
2 years ago, it was a surprising 66-54 loss to Schaumburg to give them that second-place trophy. Last year, the difference just about the same, almost identical score in the quarterfinals. A loss to eventual second-place finisher Springfield Lanphier, 66-50.
Of course, Bob Curran, the head coach, was down on both of those trips. As assistant, Kevin Hirsh took over, and the beat just kind of has gone on. Different set right here, 1-4 high for Peoria.
Thought for a second it was too far for Lee. He made the right
split decision.
I'll tell you what, they came in a 1-4 set. They tried to isolate Livingston, nothing there. So Lee says, hey, I'll go ahead and take a 22-footer. Nothing but net.
Scoreboard now tilts in the favor of the Lions.
It's amazing how basketball breaks down. Chuck Bisher drew that play up the entire timeout. It all broke down, and then they just nail a three out of ad-lib.
Off the hands of Cordell Liggins, just into the ball game. That's a tough pass to catch in traffic.
Well, again, Dave, there's so much pressure by Peoria Central that you start to rush even the routine play. And Thornwood's got to continue to make routine plays if they're going to stay in this basketball game.
Gray is back into the ball game for Thornwood. Remember, he has 2 personal fouls. Monte Ward has got him paying time. He's with Ruffin right now. Ruffin. Nelson the rebound.
Every single passing lane is covered up by the Lions. It makes it difficult just to complete a pass for Thornwood right now.
Montgomery unable to use a pick from Nelson. Goes on his own. A chance for a 3-point play.
Great isolation. You have the high post pick. That's the only way that they're getting the ball deep to the basket. A little bit of hedge, but then the nice spin move, left foot to right foot. Montgomery finishes and trying to go for the trifecta right here. And that was a key possession this time in the game. You got Eric Gray sitting on the bench with 2 fouls. Will he sit the rest of the half? That's Bob Curran's decision right now. But he has checked back in.
Montgomery looking to tie this one back up. So the 3 by Ruffin is answered by a 3-point play from Montgomery. Peoria Central, state champions in 1908 and 1977. Chuck Bisher's been down here a couple of times. The state finals, finishing twice on 2 occasions, as he hopes Brandon Lee can continue that.
Brandon Lee 8 points now, and 3 of them have been on a 3-point play at the post. That one a slashing drive. He used the backboard to negate his defender and laid it up on the opposite side. Great move.
Nelson would like to take Miranda. Instead, we'll give to Gray.
Very interesting. We haven't had a spurt by anybody yet. It's been nip and tuck all night long.
Montgomery just inside the stripe.
I'll tell you, 8.7 average. We haven't seen his perimeter jump shot, but he's shown it to us when it counts here in the state championship game.
Livingston. (21-19) Peoria. Good penetration from Allison.
That is definitely the best set that Thornwood runs when they have the double high screen up top and they bring their guard, whether it be Allison or Montgomery, to the basketball and create, because they pick up not 1 but 2 screens for Peoria to have to fight through.
Tyson Langhorn, an all-state football player, into the game. Will be guarding Allison on the inbounds. Under 2 minutes to play, they have taken Gray out of the ball game. Thornwood has, protecting his foul situation.
Awful lot of speed utilized by both teams on the floor, but not as many runouts as we'd seen both teams get this morning.
Thornwood really doing a nice job of protecting the ball. They've turned it over only 5 times tonight. Ruffin looking to make something happen. The follow by Miranda will not go. There's just no room for Allison to go.
And anytime he looks somewhere, there's a white shirt just packed in the paint. Weak side defense.
Off a screen. knocks it down for three.
That's that same double screen we just mentioned the time before. They're going to stay with that set until Peoria Central's got to go underneath that screen and head the man off of the pass. Otherwise, they're going to continue to get good 1-2 step shots.
Allison with a pair of trifectas here tonight. We're at that 40-second mark where the Lions have shown the propensity to hold. They have a different look this time. Now we get the one-shot call from Chuck Fisher.
Now they'll bring it back out to half court. Surprised Thornwood was going to put any pressure on at all.
They will not.
Martell Nelson's job is to protect the lane. If Livingston beats his man on the dribble, that'd be Maurice Montgomery.
Instead, Langhorn. Nelson gets the big rebound. And that rebound will give Thornwood a 1-point lead as these two teams head into the locker room. A low-scoring game, much as we had suspected. The Thunderbirds a 2-point lead at the end of the first quarter. Hold on to the one-pointer right now thanks to a couple of threes by Geremie Allison. Allison's second three makes it a 22-21 game. Let's go down to the floor in Lee Hall.
All right, thanks. We're with Bob Curran. Coach, your team shot the ball awfully well there first half, over 50%.
Yeah, it's nice to be back. I haven't seen that in a while. So hopefully we can keep it up in the second half. I got some great minutes from my subs. So if that can continue and get some rest, I think we can wear these guys out a little bit.
How about defensively? Were you satisfied with the way that went for you first half?
Yeah, I thought we contained them pretty well. They hit some shots that I didn't think some kids could shoot. So if they're the ones that are beating us, that's fine for right now, because I want to see that in the fourth quarter.
All right, Coach, good luck second half.
Thank you.
All right, Dave, back to you.
Interesting demeanor from Bob Curran. It's almost as if it's the first game of a Thanksgiving tournament, as calm as that guy is. He's got a 1-point lead. We've got more coming up the half after this local break. Halftime here from Carver Arena as you look high upon the court here. A full house here tonight at Carver Arena for this championship ball game, a game that is won so far after the first two quarters by Thornwood. Peoria Central has been in a similar situation in their first two ball games down here, of course, before winning those two to get to this particular championship ball game. Well, we had a ball game earlier on this evening. Of course, it's such a privilege for 4 teams to be able to play on the final day of the high school basketball season, and that was the case earlier on for Evanston and Glenbrook North, and sometimes it is so tough to play that third-place ball game, but you folks are with us for that one, plus everyone here in Carver Arena who filtered in. They got themselves quite a treat. The winner of that ball game went to Glenbrook North. In fact, the second time that they have beaten their Central Suburban League counterparts this season, but bottom line is everybody is going to get some awards out of this one. You know, as we take a look at Glenbrook and Evanston, you have a lot of positive people on the floor, and right now we'll get a chance to meet them. Let's go back to Paul Herzog.
At this time, please meet the Wildcats of Evanston, who finished at 2003 in 4th place with a record of 22-9. Superintendent Alan Elson. Principal Denise Martin. Athletic Director John Reel. Head Coach Paul Prima. Assistant Coach Bob Bost. Assistant Coach Todd Gerke. Assistant Coach Jerry Murphy. And now the players. For Quovadis, Harper. Five, Mike McKinney. 10, Larry Luckett. 11, Dan White. 12, Preston DaCosta. 20, Gordon Watt. 22, Alex Ford Carther. 23, Austin Brown. 30, Doug Tykus. 33, Elijah Hall. 35, Thomas Newt. 40, Daryl Rice. 42, Jonathan Blakley. 45, Andre Mayne. And the manager, Larry Coleman. The Wildcats of Evanston Township. At this time, please meet the Glenbrook North Spartans, who finished third with a final record of 24-9. Superintendent Dr. David Hales, the principal Dr. Michael Riggle, athletic director Bob Pieper, head coach Dave Weber, assistant coach Brian Halpern, assistant coach Scott Lidskin, assistant coach Matt Miller, assistant coach Ryan McDonaugh. And here are the Spartans. Number 10, Brendan Gilmore. 11, Zach Noodleman. 12, Brian Zibin. 14, Marcus Cardos. 22, Tim Keane. 23, Jon Scheyer. 24, Shaun Emerick. 30, Andy Hirsh. 32, Gil Shalmon. 33, Dan Dawson. 34, Eytan Azaria. 40, Matt Gold. 44, Eric Wallowitz. 50, Sam Horlick. And 52, Kevin Benoit, the Spartans of Glenbrook North. And now will Coach Prima and the captains of Evanston step forth and receive the 4th place trophy. Congratulations to the Evanston Wildcats. 4th place, 2003. And now will the Coach Weber and captains of Glenbrook North Spartans step forward and receive the 3rd place trophy.
So 2 teams have their final placings for the 2003 season determined here on a Saturday evening. We still have another 2 to go. You stay right there. We have stats and highlights coming up after these local messages. Glad to have you with us back at Carver Arena, where right now the Thornwood Thunderbirds hold that 1-point lead over Peoria Central. Well, let's take a look at the first half statistics. Low scoring, but some interesting numbers nevertheless.
Well, the biggest one that jumps out, Thornwood shooting 52% from the floor, 9 of 17, 8 out of 20 for Peoria. Free throw line not a factor thus far. 3-point field goals, 3 out of 8, 2 out of 5. They negate each other there. Thornwood with 10 offensive rebounds, but 0, or 10 rebounds, but 0 on the offensive end.
The other side, turnover is a big number because it's not a big number for Thornwood.
Exactly, and then the biggest thing that jumps out at me there is points in the paint. 10 for Peoria, that's where they live. Only 8 for Thornwood, but they have been pretty good from the perimeter in the first half.
Leading scorers tonight. Well, we thought we would see the guards in action. Here are your guard numbers. Geremie Allison, he has already scored more points in the first half than he had in the first 2 games down here. And of course, he hit that big 3. But you take a look on the Peoria Central side, Shaun Livingston and Daniel Ruffin, only 6 points combined. I've got to believe Chuck Bisher needs more than that if he's going to figure that he's going to bring home a big first-place trophy here tonight.
Well, I still think this game is still going to come down to the guards. And Thornwood, if they're going to finish it off, they're going to have to climb the offensive glass.
We take a look at those first half statistics, and it's the manipulations that take place in the locker room right now between these coaches. Bob Curran's a pretty happy guy. What do you think Chuck Bisher's feeling is right now?
Well, I think he's a little bit concerned because his team's playing pretty well, but they're trailing by a point, and they've covered the defensive board. I think that was their game key, but yet they're trailing. I think, you know, they got to get Ruffin more involved. They got to open up this floor to 94 feet. Thornwood's done a good job transitionally from a defensive standpoint, and I thought that was one of the keys, is not letting Peoria get their runouts like they had this morning. That's when they're at their best.
Peoria's running out of their locker room right now. We'll be back with more here from this boys AA state championships after these words from your local stations.
1-point ball game here at the half. 16 minutes to go for a state championship. We're with Peoria High coach Chuck Bisher. Coach, what did you tell your team at halftime?
Well, we got to be a little more aggressive on defense. I think we played their game again the first half. They played their first 2 games have been half-court games, and that was a half-court game, and we're more of a full-court team. We'd like to press more, but you got to score to press, and they're good defensively.
We want to say hi to your daughter and son-in-law, Jay and Jennifer Rudak, watching in Downers Grove.
I'd love to. Hello, Jennifer and Jay. They're in Downers Grove, couldn't get down, but how you doing?
Illinois Central College women won a national championship tonight. Good. Maybe we can get a state championship for Peoria High.
That'd be great.
With all due respect to Thornwood, back to you.
Hey, thank you very much, Lee. IHSA Network taking care of business. So is Martell Nelson for Thornwood.
Slash to the basket and the foul early on. Then you got the run out to Ruffin, the nice touch pass, and the finish by Ruffin. See Martell Nelson going to come and use screen after a dish, and the finish off the glass. Gets a kind roll. Geremie Allison with a pull-up 3 off that double screen. Peoria Central's got to make some adjustments on that. And then you see Brandon Lee with that nice reverse layup, the kiss off the glass, using the defender as a shield, and the finish all night long. And of course, how can you beat a pull-up 3 by Maurice Montgomery, who gave them some outside shooting that they didn't expect.
1-point lead for Thornwood. Second half coming up next. Back at Carver Arena, well, we'll see if some trends continue. Will the 53% shooting trend for Thornwood continue? Will the pace of the game continue? Chuck Bisher does not want any of those to happen. Bob Curran, on the other hand, says, you know what, let's keep sticking those threes. Let's keep putting the ball in the hole. Let's play a little D.
Best comment Chuck Bisher made at halftime is he'd like to press more, but he's got to get the doggone thing in the bucket, and they only shot 40% in half one.
On the alley-oop to Shaun Livingston for the lead.
Off a back screen set play out of halftime, well executed.
Nearly the turnover in the backcourt. Took all of about 5 seconds for the Lions to regain the lead. Gray finds an opening and the pull-up. Here comes Daniel Ruffin. From 15. Lee to Jon Ruffin.
Points off turnovers, defense creating offense for Peoria. They live and die by that, and they've lived for 30 wins thus far.
The first 50 seconds are any indication. It certainly is the pace at which Peoria Central would like to play.
Chuck Bisher wants these guys right now up in the passing lanes, contesting every single ball reversal by Thornwood.
Nelson on the reverse.
He had a step on Miranda, and he took it to the rack with authority. Reverse layup in the finish.
Martell Nelson, one of these players that jump out once you get to the state finals. He's had some outstanding games, 3 outstanding games downstate. Ruffin launches. Chuck Fisher's hands go up in the air saying, why that?
Geremie Allison just dared him to shoot that basketball from 22 feet with his feet set.
Now the Thunderbirds an opportunity for the lead on this possession.
There's a double down screen.
Around the perimeter to Gray. He's had a cold shooting night. Just 1 of 5. Allison gets a screen. Looking for the foul. It didn't come. The breakout by Ruffin.
More points on turnovers, more points on transition, and more points with Daniel Ruffin running the floor.
The foul call going against Brandon Lee. Daniel Ruffin able to create things. This time, kind of a tough situation for Geremie Allison. Kind of got caught up in a tough situation, but here's Ruffin.
He got the run out and the easy lay-in, but the thing was created by the fact that Geremie Allison tried to draw a foul and didn't get the call.
Well, you just feel that defensive pressure, that notch turned up just a bit here. Montgomery loves that spin move. Muse bottoms it out.
Great job by Montgomery, penetrating kick. He finds a man spot up, squared up, and all he did was flat out bury it. Andre Muse.
It's exactly what Thornwood needed. We are pulled into yet another tie.
They love penetrating kick basketball, do the Thunderbirds. High screen and roll here. They'll take the 2 All-Staters, play a 2-man game on top.
Tyson Langhorn into the game. Ruffin with it. Miranda trying to post up inside. Lee, 3. High for the board is Gray. He steps on the end line.
Great position by Gray on the weak side. Just did not have the court awareness.
Once again, we're tied at 27. More from Carver Arena in the boys AA championships after this local break.
We're with 2 of the cutest Central Alliance fans right here. I don't know this little guy's name. He's just the cutest fan I've seen. What's his name? This is Tony, and this is Rhonda Ruffin. This is Daniel's mother and A.J. Guyton's mom. A.J. was the 2nd-round pick of the Bulls. Your husband is the assistant coach. Is it tougher to be the mom or the wife?
Come on. Come on. I'm about to die right now. I'm having a ball, though. I'm so happy for the kids. I'm proud of them. Whatever it turns out to be, they've done the best. I mean, they're the best.
Tell me about Daniel. His dad's a coach, was a good player, went to Bradley. His brother, a great player at Indiana, went on to the NBA. How has he handled being the little brother and all that?
Pretty well, I would say. I mean, he knows that AJ's and he's Daniel. And he has to do what Daniel can do best. He can't do what other people expect of him. So, I mean, I think he's handled it pretty well.
All right, we're going to let Rhonda be nervous by herself now. Back to you guys.
Well, nails are going to be a little bit shorter after that 3 ball from Geremie Allison because the Thunderbirds have retaken the 1-point lead.
A couple of exchanges. Each team's answered the other one's score.
Allison, who had been so quiet in the first 2 games, coming up big here. Livingston. Muse tried to one-hand that rebound. It squirted away. Jacob Mottler into the ball game for Peoria.
Talk about Allison being quiet. He's got 9 points today. And interesting, Geremie Allison and Eric Gray have been starting guards together since 7th grade. That goes way back. I think they're familiar with each other's step, they're familiar with each other's game, and they can anticipate what cuts, what kind of movement they're going to find from each other on the floor.
Langhorn, All-State quarterback, runs the show now, gives it up to Lee. Finds Livingston. Tyson Langhorn. He never left the field in football. A key assist to give his team the lead here in the state basketball championship.
It's all about is making slashes to the basket. Livingston did that, and Langhorn found him on the cut.
Allison has to stay away from a 5 count, picks it up. Lonte Ward into the game for Thornwood. He will give it off to Muse. Allison feels it, hits it.
He is catching the ball off cross screens in rhythm, just like a shooting drill right now. And you're right, he's feeling it big time, but he's getting a chance to come off screen, square up, and has time to deliver the basketball to the rim.
Allison 4 of 6 from 3-point range. The lead is 2 for Thornwood. Peoria Central, winners of 28 in a row, ranked 2nd in the state. Thornwood finished the regular season ranked number 10. They have but 5 losses on the season. 4 of those Thornwood losses came in a 1-week stretch in January. Allison will pick up the foul. Here are the numbers. Thornwood struggled earlier in this tournament. They are knocking them down tonight. As we mentioned, Allison 4 of 6. Part of the team 6 of 11 total. On the other side, Peoria just 2 of 7. Points off turnovers. Look at that difference. 11-0.
So you got the strengths of both teams right there on that graphic, telling us the storyline of this basketball game.
Livingston looking to take Muse. The foul comes on the floor.
Out of the high post, one drop step to his left, strong to the basket. Good foul by Muse, because that would have been a basket and a foul had he not got him out higher on the floor. It would have been 3-point play.
Mottler open, hits it. Jacob Mottler, all he does is enter games and contribute.
All he does is make plays in a steady way.
The lead to the Lions. .90 seconds left in the 3rd quarter. Peoria fans wanted a call there on Gray. He's open. Ward. The score by Cordell Wiggins.
First, second chance points for Thornwood all evening long, but it gives them a lead.
We go back and forth in Peoria. And we continue it with Daniel Ruffin. Ward, Liggins, the block. That is recovering on defense.
See the hard drive, the dish, and the lay, and a nice lay-in, but out of nowhere, Eric Gray elevates to make a play.
36-35 Central. Montgomery having a tough time. Ruffin the steal, Allison the foul. A double whammy as far as Thornwood is concerned.
Daniel Ruffin forced a pass to come out about 45 feet away, gets the interception and a foul. Daniel Ruffin is, Peoria Central is 90-25 with he as the quarterback of this basketball team. What leadership that is. Just born out in a 90-25 record as a point guard.
Tyson Langhorne leaves the game for Central after that huge block on Liggins inside. The ball in the lead here in the final seconds of the 3rd quarter for Peoria. Thunderbirds content to let the floor be spread for Livingston.
They got about 3 or 4 different options. The last time they tried to throw it back out for a 3, I think he's going to let him go one-on-one this time.
Montgomery hunkers down defensively. Spinning, banking, will not go. They have time. Williams launches. We have a 1-point game after 3 in the boys AA state championship. You stay right there. Catch your breath. We're back after these words from your local sponsors. Happy birthday. birthday to Amber and Shannon Parsons. Amber celebrated her 12th birthday last week, and Shannon turns 9 this week. Amber and Shannon are enjoying tonight's championship game in Morocco, Indiana. Hey, their dad is Brett Parsons, and he's running the camera tonight. Hey, Brett, say hi to the girls at home. All right. Hey, if I could add my own birthday wishes here on a personal note, happy birthday to my twin granddaughters, Kelsey and Carly Bernhardt. Their 1-year birthday tonight.
You're going to have a big birthday party at the conclusion of this game, huh?
Tell you what, that's what's happening tomorrow. Thornwood possession to start period number 4. 8 minutes, possibly more, to a state championship for one of these two teams. A little confused here, so he gets it to a guard.
Peoria really pushing Thornwood out on the floor now.
Turnover. Ruffin. Livingston. A chance for 2 goes awry for the Lions.
Opportunities lost. Every possession is going to count in this 4th quarter.
Ward goes inside. The tip by Montgomery.
No-look pass. The lack of a finish, but Montgomery stays with it and bats it back in.
Thornwood the lead. 7 minutes straight up to play in the state championship. Lee puts the ball on the floor. Goes glass.
He is one tough kid. Is just as far as when the game's on the line, you can see it in his eyes. He wants the basketball. Brandon Lee.
Peoria High, the 1-point advantage. Neither team backing down.
How about Thornwood? What do? Play nothing but close games?
They have won both of them down here in Peoria with shots coming in the final 10 seconds.
Can the magic continue?
Gray guarded by Lee.
Dave, the demeanor of Bob Kern just amazes me.
He stands there, and he will watch Maurice Montgomery go to the free throw line.
He's just so stoic on the sideline. And Chuck Bisher just completely animated. 2 contrasting styles. Obviously, they both get the most of their team.
Here's your guard matchups tonight. Geremie Allison having a huge night, looking for Eric Gray to get on track. On the other side, Shaun Livingston, the All-Stater, doing a little more scoring tonight than we had seen in the first 2 games.
You add those up, it's a 16-14 advantage for Thornwood, or excuse me, for Central. We're dead even on the scoreboard.
We take a look at their game scoring averages coming into this game. Geremie Allison averages 12 a game. Eric Gray 17. He has but 2. Shaun Livingston 15 points per ball game. He's 5 shy of that. Daniel Ruffin a 13-point average. He's a shade under that right now. We remain tied. We remain with the ball on this end of the floor.
Nelson with the board. He got every key rebound at the end of the ball game this morning.
Looking for a mismatch somewhere in the floor. Livingston puts the ball off the board's feet. Can he save it? No. Oh, you cannot blink. You blink and there's a quick hand in there.
Well, Shaun Livingston, I apologize if I sound redundant, but he has had his hand on the ball. We've talked about their deflections, but he has to have a dozen this weekend himself. Long arms, long wingspan, and the thing is young men usually don't use their hands like Shaun Livingston does.
Monte Ward, just a sophomore, is picked again, this time by Langhorne. Waits, pops, short. Jon Ruffin battles. Daniel Ruffin waits, looks. They had the great play, the great look, just the wrong angle off the glass for Jon Ruffin, and then he picks up the needless foul.
Frustration foul by Ruffin. He made a nice inside cut. Chuck Bisher tells his team, move, move. Too stagnant without the basketball. Made a nice cut to Jon Ruffin. Daniel Ruffin found him, but he just couldn't square up to the basket. Went to the baseline side, couldn't finish.
Allison comes and gets it. 4 3-pointers for Geremie Allison tonight. Offensive foul goes against the T-Birds. Martell Nelson picks it up. His first foul, the 4th team foul. Peoria with just 3 team fouls.
Foul's not a factor. Timeout's not a factor. The scoreboard is 38-38.
You know, you look into the eyes of the players and you really see no pressure.
No.
Lee. Oh, is he tough?
Boy, does he love that baseline. He owns the slash on the baseline. Yeah, both teams with incredible poise. Calm, cool, and collected, like a deodorant commercial, I guess.
Central by a deuce. Montgomery Livingston got away with the crossover there. And what a chess game played individually here, collectively. And there's a foul going against Muse. The elbow to Brandon Lee. It will be the ball and a 2-point lead for Central.
All right, Dave, a little shout out to my hometown here. Take a look at the Peoria teams who have played in the title game. This is the 7th appearance for Central. They had 2 titles. Manuel had 7 appearances, 4 straight state tournament titles between 93 and 97 and 1 in 1930. My alma mater, Spalding, made it in 69 and lost to that Bill hit Proviso East evil team. They finished 4th in 1970 with Alvin O'Neill. Richwoods made it in 92, lost to Proviso East. And Peoria Bergen with an A finished 2nd to Luther South back in 1980 with my good friend Tom Gillis. So a lot of Peoria teams, and nice to see one of my hometown teams back in the finals here in Peoria. It's been a while. Back to you.
They have 4 minutes and 13 seconds away from a state championship, a 2-point lead. That is a long time. Take a look at what's happened since the end of the 3rd quarter. 6 ties, 11 lead changes. That's as of the end of the 3rd quarter. 6 ties, 11 lead changes tonight. Ruffin somehow ends up where the ball is.
He just does not quit moving. He's so energized.
Lee makes it so tough with that left hand.
He gets people on his back. He drew a foul right there against Martell Nelson, 215 pounds. Lee gives up 25 pounds in that matchup, but he is such a wide body and so quick with that first drop step, he gets himself to the line.
Lee, a 69% free throw shooter.
And under 4-minute free throw percentages are kept by every coach in the state, not just season long like we look at, but where the guys shoot when the pressure's on the line. This one's huge for Brandon Lee, not only to increase the score, but Peoria Central wants to get into full court pressure on a make.
Two misses, the lead stays at 2. Langhorn into the face of Allison. Nelson. Good save by Gray.
Very cerebral play by Gray. He was at the baseline, knew he couldn't throw the ball back out. He had enough hang time in his jump to throw the ball off Livingston and keep possession.
Gray forces it up. Muse will track it down to Nelson. The T-Birds will keep it at their end of the floor. Allison fires off the shot clock. For people that have not followed Thornwood basketball, they may be saying, you know, well, what kind of shots are those? Well, those are the shots that have been going down all year. In fact, the basic philosophy is keep shooting.
Over 520 3-point attempts this year. The big part of those from their 2 guards, Geremie Allison, Eric Gray. And you got to stay with what's been good to you. You don't change with 3:10 to go in a state title game.
And now the Lions will spread the floor.
Very interesting in a one-possession game. They want Thornwood to come chase and try to get some backdoor cut out of that. And I guarantee you, Bob Kern's trying to be a little bit stubborn here, but he can't stand there for 2.5 minutes. I know that.
And we watch Bob Kern's demeanor. He's just standing, hands behind his back. His team on defense, down by 2. The next foul will put Peoria Central in the bonus.
See if Thornwood ends up trying to trap the first pass off this. And they don't.
Montgomery close enough to start the 5 count. Still staying close. They've taken nearly a minute off the clock.
Basically 4 guards in the game.
Livingston, he says, yes, you know, I should have shot. About 8 feet out, I should have let it go. And Thornwood will take a timeout with 2:06 to play, trailing by 2. Stay right there. You're watching high school basketball on the Illinois High School Association Television Network. And a great game inside Carver Arena. 2:06 to play. Peoria Central 40, Thornwood 38.
Great timeout, in my opinion, by Bob Kern, who took some time with his coaching staff to decide how they were to defend that spread game by Peoria and where they were going to get their trapping areas at.
The steal, Montgomery. We're tied.
That's that out-of-bounds set on defense, and they scouted that lob pass. They went to the well one too many times to Livingston, and they get the run out off that play.
There are your steal numbers. The big steal from Montgomery in the conversion. That will be the 7th team foul on Thornwood. Allison with the foul. Now, was this drawn up?
Well, the play was drawn up and well scouted. The tip went out past Livingston a little bit too far, and the finish at the other end. A great run out by Maurice Montgomery to tie things up. At this end right now, Ruffin, a 68% free throw shooter. Central missed 2 free throws earlier. It's going to come down to the free throw line.
The lead to the Lions.
Cool as an ice cube, that point guard is.
This will be his home floor for the next 4 years. He is signed to play with the Braves from Bradley University. The tip out Livingston, but the foul Livingston.
But not a bad foul, because he knew he could be very aggressive with only 3 team fouls on the side of Peoria.
Only the 2nd foul on Livingston.
See, so now they can set their full court defense, go ahead, run and jump, trap again if they want, with no worry about the free throw line. That's like an ace in your back pocket when you have fouls to give.
Only the 4th foul. Here's Montgomery. Reverse. The roll not there for him. And they'll get Montgomery with the foul inside. Oh, that sat on the rim for oh so long.
Bounce.
And now you put Shaun Livingston to the line. Here's Montgomery.
The reverse bounce, 1, 2, 3, and out. Sometimes that iron's friendly, and sometimes it's not very friendly. That time, just an excellent break for Peoria, and they go to the other end on the defensive rebound and the foul.
Livingston, 67% from the line. A 2-point difference. He's hit all 3 of his free throws tonight.
Gamers are supposed to step up. Livingston and Ruffin have scored the last points for the Lions.
The lead is 3.
Absolutely huge possession right here, Dave.
Less than 90 seconds to play in regulation. Allison, the kick out. Muse, we're tied. Andre Muse.
Drive, draw, and kick out for a spot up 3.
43, 60 seconds left in regulation. They want 1 shot.
Thornwood, can they do it again? But first, they got to get it stopped because the Lions are the ones that should get the final crack.
Harper Arena comes to its feet.
10,000 plus on their feet right now.
You see the clock. You know the score. Daniel Ruffin has to watch the 5 count. They get the timeout. The timeout was called by the bench because that count was about at 4.5.
Excellent job by the assistant coaches here at Chuck Fisher. You got your timeouts, use them and save. Well, this last basket that tied things up was an auxiliary play in its own right. The penetration, the no call, the kick out, and then the spot up 3, nothing but net as Muse just drained it. Both teams with 2 timeouts, which is just huge. You see him spotted up. What a good look. He had a chance to get his 1-2 step, square his shoulders, and it was automatic.
Let's go inside the Peoria Central huddle.
Timeout, I'll take it. Look the score. If you get one, take it. Be strong. Go. Look, yeah, use the time a little bit.
Listen up. Hey, if you can grab the ball now, get those screens, face off. Daniel, go. Jacob to the court.
Bottom line is there's 23 seconds left. The timeout situation, both teams have 2. There's no problem there. There is our game reset. Everything about dead even. A possession arrow. It's huge. It belongs to the Peoria Central Lions.
Base defense by Thornwood. You don't want to gamble. You don't want to get to a situation where you give them a 4-on-3, but you have to cover your defensive board.
Ruffin. Guarded by Allison. Now it's Livingston. Final 10 seconds. Livingston hits it.
What a great play. You saw Ruffin on top. Finally delivered the ball. Livingston sees one seam. He starts to attack, and he finishes the play on the baseline. One ball reversal, one-on-one matchup. He had the one he liked, hesitation dribble, and he just goes right past Maurice Montgomery, showing the all-state caliber player he is, but we have some ticks left on the clock.
3.2 seconds to be exact.
Okay? If Geremie's not open, okay, and Martell, well, it's called timeout if Geremie's not open, okay? Because we got 2 timeouts. One, okay. If Geremie's not open, and looks called timeout, Geremie, you get it and you go, okay? Now listen, what we're going to try and set up after that is a long baseball pass to Martell.
This copyrighted broadcast is presented for the exclusive entertainment and non-commercial use of our audience. Any reproduction, rebroadcast, or other use of this program without the express written consent of the Illinois High School Association and cost broadcast sales is strictly prohibited.
I tell you what, Peoria Central, with their all-stater Shaun Livingston, made a play, but we've seen Thornwood's magic not once, but twice. Can they be magical 3 times? This one would be the most magical moment of all if Bob Kern can draw something up to get a shot off in 3.2 seconds.
You heard it, Geremie Allison. If he's not open, they'll use their final timeout. Allison gets it, he goes.
3.2 is enough for Allison if he catches the ball half court off a screen to get the ball down the floor. We'll see if they play full face guard denial from Daniel Ruffin.
Thornwood will take the timeout right now. They didn't even worry about inbounding. No timeouts remaining. for Thornwood, they have to go the length of the floor.
Got an awful lot of things to remind your ball players right now. You're reminding your man taking the ball inbounds. He still can run the baseline. That's a huge advantage. What Thornwood needs to do is get somebody cutting away from the basket and throw the ball down the floor with a catch and a dribble. Chuck Bisher's telling his team right now, keep the ball in front of you no matter where they catch it. The ball's got to be in front of you. Try to turn your man at least once, hopefully twice, to burn that clock.
The battle of the school flags goes on during the timeout. The battle between these two schools has gone on for 32 minutes.
I think the other thing you need to tell your team, if you're Bob Kern, is you have to take the ball strong to the basket. Now, that might sound a bit mundane, but you know my next point. Officials don't want to make a call here so that Peoria can be relatively aggressive. There won't be any soft touch foul. I guarantee you that. So Thornwood's got to be strong if they're going to get any kind of opportunity at the free throw line.
It's been a while since the South Suburbs have brought home a state championship. 25 years ago, to be exact, 1978. That's when Lockport did it 4 times in championship games. Since that time, South Suburbs have come up empty.
First guy that has a big responsibility is Maurice Montgomery. His right arm is important as John Elway's right now.
Watch the final 3.2 with us. And Peoria Central is your state champions for 2003. No celebration on the floor. They are doing it up in the balconies of Harper Arena.
That celebration I've never seen in my life. Incredibly spontaneous. The Lions are roaring up in the top chambers of this Carver Arena as they made a beeline sprint right to their fans. What a great basketball game. The great finish by Livingston with 3.2 seconds to go. Thornwood got the ball to half court, and somehow Martell Nelson split a trap, got the ball rolling down to the baseline, but time was running out.
Let's go very quickly to Lee Hall. Lee.
Chuck, what a hard-fought game. I was surprised when Thornwood shots didn't go in. They played a whale of a game.
They played tremendous. I thought our defense was great, but they knocked it right in our eye. But our defense was still, it was a hard-fought game, Lee. All of them have been. We had a tough road. Von Steuben, Evanston, Thornwood, 3 great teams. And I'm so proud of our team. I thought Ruffin was great late. Our whole team, I thought, what a play Livingston made. That's a big-time play by a big-time player.
Tell me about that last shot.
Well, we wanted to clear out. We wanted to isolate him. We weren't sure they wouldn't run somebody at him. But I don't know what to say because the referee was outstanding. A lot of contact on him, but the referee should not decide it. Livingston knocked in a tough shot. I was very impressed with Thornwood.
Second in 83, a heartbreaker, maybe the greatest game in 89 that you lost in triple overtime to East St. Louis Lincoln. Tell me the feeling of winning a state championship.
Well, as I said earlier, when you win a state championship in Illinois, we're very proud and we're very excited. I'm happy for our school. What a crowd tonight for our community. And you know, I don't really know what to say, but I think it was our turn. I guess that's the best way to say it. It was our turn.
The first win in 1908. Congratulations on 2003, Chuck.
Thanks, Lee.
All right. Our country insurance player of the game, getting an embrace from his coach and hitting the biggest shot of his fantastic storied career, Shaun Livingston. Tell me about the last shot, Shaun.
It was just a feel-good shot, man. You know, I want to do this for our team. You know what I'm saying? We've been through so much, dog. Just transfer this, transfer that. You know, coach, he hasn't won a championship since he's been here. It feel good, you know what I'm saying? Feel good. We gonna party now.
Tell me about, we talked earlier this week, so much expected of you as a kid. I mean, 6th grade, 5th grade, the next great player to come out of Peoria. How good does this make you feel to put a capper on it like this?
It make me feel good, man. You know what I mean? A lot of, you know, there's always gonna be people that's gonna be doubting you. Michael Jordan even have doubters. I'm not Michael Jordan. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, you know, people's gonna go through obstacles in their life, and I think this is a big one.
Tell me about this team. You came in, Brandon came in, the guys accepted you, you gelled.
We just fitted well together, man. It was just, you know what I mean? We went to school when we was in grade school together. And once we got in, it was all clicking.
Congratulations, state champion.
Thank you.
Way to go. All right, Dave, back to you.
Thank you very much, Lee. The Peoria Central Lions holding their headlines, and you can bet many of those will be framed as Central thrills this Carver Arena crowd. In fact, thrills most everybody except the people dressed in blue and gold as Thornwood. What a heartbreak it is for them. For the second time in 3 years, they reached the state championship ball game 2 years ago, coming in heavily favored over Schaumburg. The Thunderbirds fell in that one 66-54, and tonight they fall 45-43 as Peoria High School picks up their third state championship in 77. And now in 2003, you see the state titles down the line. Well, Mark Lindo, I'll tell you what, you want to book yourself an exciting game and a championship game, just rewind the tape and you'll have it right here.
Well, both teams just went at each other with great resiliency. You know, we didn't have that big spurt 8 or 10 point run. We never had that. I'd like to know, you know, what the biggest lead was. It might have been 4 or 6 points. Neither team would let the other one get out of their range, out of their eyesight, and it was just big play after big play. Anytime somebody pulled ahead by 2 or 4, I thought that you know, the other team would answer. Big time jump shooting by Thornwood, but the inside play, the slash ability, the creativity of Peoria Central, I think was finally the key. Obviously, the last shot bore that out, but in the long run, I also really believe that, you know, Peoria Central wins a state title by holding a state runner-up to 43 points in the title game. You have to be a great defensive team to win a state title. Peoria Central is a great defensive team, both in the full court and in their half court. They just don't give very many looks.
Well, we talked about that earlier today. Peoria Central in the state tournament games, all 8 that they won, they never allowed more than 47 points. And to do it against the quality of competition through the road that the Lions had to navigate is truly amazing. And how amazing is it to finish your season not only 31-1, but to win your final 29 games?
That's pretty amazing. You know, it's Chuck Bisher's 499th win. I guess he's got to wait for next year to get number 500. Yeah, I don't think it'll be quite the same kind of atmosphere as he got number 499 tonight. What an incredible coaching career he's had, and capped off by a state title. He deserves it. Had great teams. Again, just winning a Peoria City Championship as a champion in his own right.
You know, on the other side for Thornwood, what a spot that Bob Curran was put into early this season. The sophomore coach took over the head job about a week before the regular season started, when Kevin Hayhurst, the head coach who had led Thornwood down here the last 2 years, said, you know, I have had enough. I need to spend a little bit more time with my family. Bob Curran steps in, and all he does is take his team down to the final seconds of the final game his first year.
Well, I tell you what, and you go back 2 games, we talked about his stoic demeanor and how calm he is with his basketball team. I don't think they get here, Dave, without the demeanor that Bob Curran has. He's very, very much under control.
Let's go to Paul Herzog, our public address announcer at Carver Arena.
Yes. Head coach, Bob Curran.
The high school you graduated in the year.
Assistant coach, Ron Peterson. Accepting for assistant coach, John Dunlop, Kevin Connor. Assistant coach, Paul Slavic. And assistant coach, Jerry Stursky. And now the Thunderbirds. 14, Jawan Willis. 15, Lonte Ward. 20, Jonathan Minifee. 22, Lorenzo Williams. 23, Geremie Allison. 24, Eric Gray. 25, Brady Leverston. 30, Jonathan Jordan. 32, Maurice Montgomery. 33, Andre Muse. 35, Cordell Liggins. 40, Martell Nelson. 44, Darnell Westbrook. 45, Larry Olivier. And 50, Derek Williams. The Thunderbirds of South Holland Thornwood, second place, 2003, Class AA. At this time, please meet the Lions of Peoria Central High School. Finishing the season in first place with a final record of 31-1. Superintendent of Schools, Dr. Kay Royster. Principal, Rosalind Severs Swain. Activities Director, Chris Perry. Head Coach, Chuck Bisher. Assistant Coach, Dan Ruffin. Assistant Coach and Athletic Director, Chuck Westendorf. Assistant Coach, Eric Heath. Assistant Coach, Michi Edwards. Here are the Lions. 3, Jacob Mottler. 11, Daniel Ruffin. 14, Shaun Livingston. 15, Jermaine Dunnigan. 21, Peyton Wadley. 22, Brandon Lee. 24, Tyson Langhorn. 32, Jon Ruffin. 33, Brandon Foster. 34, DeAndre Miranda. 40, O'Brien Jackson. 44, Leslie Weatherspoon. 50, Reggie Russell. 5, Terrence Smith. And 25, Orlando Edwards. The Lions, Class AA champs 2003. And now will Coach Curran and the captains of Thornwood please step forward and receive the second place trophy. In 1908, at the first championship, the Illinois High School Association, the winner, Peoria Central. In 2003, the winner, Peoria Central High School. With Coach Fisher and the Peoria Central Lions captains, please step forward to receive the first place trophy.
Peoria Central bringing home the big trophy, and they don't have to bring it far. Your state champions in 2003. They did it in 1908, they did it in 1977, and they bring it all home. And, you know, Mark, if we back up just for a second, a lot of people thought once we got to this Elite Eight, it may not be the most classiest, the most, you know, glamorous of all the Elite Eights, but when you look back at some of the ball games we had, isn't that what it's all about? 3 games that came down to the final 10 seconds.
Well, there's no doubt about that. You know, when you get down here, it's the old cliche, but it's a fact. Anything can happen. Teams are on a roll at the right time. That's what tournament basketball at any level is all about. You know, Peoria Central, though, they did come in here with a favorite label, and they were able to get the job done. We talked about it's all about advancing. It's all about surviving. The Lions just did that. And I like to say the mental is the physical is 4-to-1. That's how important the mental part of the game is. And this team is very mentally tough and persevered here tonight.
Well, indeed, they bring home the championship with winning just 31 games. How about that? Just 31 games out of 32. They do it by winning their last 29 in a row. They do it by holding their poise when Thornwood came at them with their best guns. In fact, Neil Alexander, the head coach for Lincoln, and also Paul Prime, the head coach for Evanston, said, you know, to beat these guys, you have to play nearly a perfect game, and Thornwood nearly did, but in the end, the big trophy, which is just sitting just to our left here, belongs to Peoria Central.
Well, you know, the supporting cast for Peoria Central did a great job, but it was still Ruffin and Livingston, the primetime guys, that made plays down the stretch.
Let's go back to Lee Hall. Lee?
All right, we're with Bob Curran, coach. That magic eluded you for the 3rd time. You got it first 2 games, but not the 3rd game.
Yeah, you know, we were fortunate to get by those first 2, and it just so happened that the ball fell their way this time, the bounces, and kid made a great play at the end, and you got to give your hats off to them. They're a great basketball team. You
talk about the heart and of this team and how hard they played here this weekend.
Yeah, you know what? They always believed, and they're kids that like to win, and they just go out and give it their all. And every time we get in a huddle afterwards, we say heart, because you want to play with your heart, and they do that. So that's all we can ask.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
All right. Bob Curran, head coach of 2nd place Thornwood. Back to you, Dave.
Well, Lee, as you well know, it takes a lot of people behind the scenes to televise the state basketball finals. And, you know, it's been a very grueling 4 weeks for a lot of people here. And, you know, we've had a wonderful group of people that put in some awfully long hours these last four weeks to bring you these games live over the IHSA television network. We hope that you've enjoyed them. Thanks to everyone on our crew for all of your very, very special efforts. You get a look inside, outside. You know, in the end, you know, and you'll hope a lot of people, well, and then there's some of that too. You hope a lot of people obviously enjoy the finished product, but there's an awful lot of people that have given up a lot of time here these last 4 weekends to go wire to wire, Friday, Saturday, girls A, AA, boys A, AA, continuous coverage. No breakaway to any studios here. We just come right back at you all the time. And I do want to thank all those people for making our job sitting right here so enjoyable. You know, I would like to thank you out there as well. And Mark and I are very tight with the high school sports scene. We are glad that you've been able to enjoy with us what high school sports is all about.
Well, we both have a passion. I hope that passion came through, and that passion was in Carver Arena tonight, and the passion will follow both these ball clubs tonight. No losers, 2 champions at Carver tonight.
Congratulations, Peoria Central, the Lions, your state champs. For Lee Hall and Mark Lindo, I'm Dave Bernhardt. Thank you so much for being with us for this entire state basketball coverage. This weekend in Peoria, we stood a little bit straighter and cheered a little bit longer. We seek comfort in these troubled times, partly through the love of this game. Basketball helps us to define who we are as Americans, what we believe in, and the way of life that our finest and bravest defend with honor. In the words of the legendary Illinoisan H.V. Porter, "Now eagles fly and heroes lie beneath some foreign arch. Let their sons tread when hate is dead in this happy madness of March." As we close this tournament, we pray that when a new day dawns in America, all of his future battles will be won and lost on the basketball court under the ever-brightening glow of peace.